As the rainfall causes flooding issues this morning, we have the latest traffic updates on road and bridge closures you'll need to know on your commute.
And we are getting a closer look at plans to renovate the area around Camp Randall, which could include getting rid of the infamous Tower of Footballs out front.
From the Channel3000.com Alert Center, this is News 3 Now this morning.
Good morning and welcome to News 3 Now this morning. It is Thursday, March 14th, a very dreary day yet again. We are dealing with wind advisories, flood advisories, fog advisories. I mean, just everything in the mix today.
Yeah, 3 different type of bulletins in effect for parts of our area today. Lots of wind, a little bit of rain, and a lot of snow melt. We have it all in the forecast today. A dense fog advisory has been issued for parts of the area, a few counties west of Dane County, until 10 o'clock this morning. Fog has been an issue in the Mineral Point area. Visibility has been pretty consistent at 0 there. Monroe has just dropped to half-a-mile visibility. There's been some improvement though in Platteville. They're back up to 10-mile visibility right now. So the fog is patchy at this time. Keep in mind temperatures are very mild. Snow continued to melt overnight. The flood watch continues until 7 o'clock on Friday morning. Now it's not necessarily for the additional rain that we're going to receive today. It's the snow that will be melting. In fact, the radar map is actually pretty quiet here in southern Wisconsin. And I would just expect scattered showers, maybe an isolated thunderstorm for the area today. Again, the snow melting though, we're starting out near 50 degrees, climbing to highs pretty close to 60 later on today, so a very mild day. Here's a look at your traffic maps this morning. Again, those rising levels on the area streams and rivers are causing problems south of Madison. A couple of closures to talk to you about. Highway 191 is closed between County Road W and K. Looks like there are some other closures in the Hollandale area as well, and south and west of Monroe. Hudson Road is closed as well, so keep in mind, if there's water on the road, turn around, don't drown.
Always a good reminder, because even a little bit of water can cause a lot of issues.
Yeah, you never know the state of the road underneath that water. Might be gone.
Exactly. Thank you, Hattie.
You're welcome.
So with another quarter-inch of rain possible today and plenty more snow melt on the way, river levels are only going up from here.
That's right. Darlington schools are opening late this morning after officials there shut down the Main Street Bridge. The Pecatonica below that bridge is already at a dangerous level and is expected to crest at 15 feet 9 inches tonight. Now, you can stay up to date on closures via Nixle alerts. You can sign up for those simply by texting your zip code to 888-777.
Over in Columbia County, officials expect the Wisconsin River to reach a flood stage of 17.5 feet by Monday. That's about a half a foot below last year's highest crest. The Baraboo River also expected to reach moderate flood stage levels by Monday, about 2 feet below last year's high. County officials say they're not expecting major damage to homes or other structures, but they are still monitoring water levels.
Anyone living in those areas can pick up free sandbags from the Columbia County Highway Shop in Wyacina, the Department of Public Works building in Portage, or you can call the City of Columbus to pick them up there. Sauk County is also offering sandbags for you to assemble on your own over at Reedsburg High School and the West Baraboo Garage across from Festival Foods.
In other news this morning, the FBI is now assisting Milwaukee police in the search for a missing 2-year-old as the man at the center of the statewide Amber Alert is in custody. Nolani Robinson was believed to be with her father, Darius Higgins, but Higgins was taken into custody yesterday afternoon in Milwaukee, and there's still no sign of Nolani. Police believe Higgins shot and killed Nolani's mother on Monday. They're currently looking into a tip that Nolani could be in St. Cloud, Minnesota or Ann Arbor, Michigan. If you have any information on where Nolani may be, you're asked to call police.
A former Lyft driver accused of sexually assaulting one of his passengers here in Madison is due back in court today. 28-year-old Hassan Ahmed allegedly assaulted a woman he drove home last month. That woman told police he was dropping her off at her Langdon Street apartment when he asked to use her bathroom. She says he then assaulted her inside that apartment. The victim was able to give police information from the app. Officers used that to arrest Ahmed while he was driving around in the area. Lyft has since deactivated his driver account. Prosecutors will lay out some of the evidence against Ahmed during his preliminary hearing today.
One of Facebook's largest outages ever could still be going for some users this morning. Issues were rampant yesterday across the social media platform and other sites it owns, like Instagram and WhatsApp. Facebook says the issues were not due to an outside attack, but the company still hasn't provided any other details about the cause. Meanwhile, a new report from the New York Times says federal prosecutors are conducting a criminal investigation into Facebook's data sharing deals with a number of tech companies. The report says a New York grand jury has subpoenaed two well-known smartphone makers for records related to the investigation. A December report from the Times says Facebook had data sharing arrangements with more than 150 companies, which helped Facebook gain more users. Those partners were able to access Facebook data without its users' content.
For anyone looking forward to football season already, UW's athletics department is hoping to make some changes to the area around Camp Randall. The field house is up for more significant improvements, including repairs on the exterior stone, window upgrades, and a new plaza for fans. Those plans also call for a new retaining wall out front to match the look of the field house.
I think everybody's really happy and pleased to see the upgrades to the windows, especially. The doors are in okay condition, but we really want to update those and really take them back to what they historically may have looked like originally in the 1930s.
So as we reported yesterday, the future of the 50-foot statue of footballs called Nails Tails is unclear at this point. The university could be getting rid of it, moving it, or keeping it. Construction on the plaza area is set to be done by the end of next summer, so 2020. Later this summer, UW is also going to be considering adding club seats in the south end zone at Camp Randall, as well as offices, a weight room, student-athlete facilities, and more food service areas in the Cole Center. All of these plans depend on taxpayer funding in the university's capital budget. That will not be approved until later this year.
Okay, we don't usually like talking about Michigan State on the program, but there's a pretty funny student earning himself celebrity status for an outfit he wore to Saturday's men's basketball game over Michigan.
Yeah, they ended up winning that one, so call him the lucky waffle guy, maybe. The Michigan State senior, also known as Nathan Guzowski, decided to repurpose a Halloween costume from years ago. He says, oh, wow. He says this year he's worn it to every home game. There he is, after getting lots of ESPN airtime and plenty of social media attention this weekend.
Oh, my goodness.
His facial expressions just help it all. Some people on Twitter started a joke GoFundMe page to get the waffle guy to the Big Ten tournament. And guess what? What started as a joke is almost a reality. The fundraiser has raised more than $2,000 for the trip. Waffle Guy says he won't use it all on tickets and travel expenses. He does plan to donate some of it to charity and hopefully some maple syrup stashes that he won't likely need.
Yeah, Danica. He's so expressive.
I know, even without the waffle
boy.
framing his face. So, oh boy.
Oh, man. I could watch that all day.
We need a caption contest for this guy, for sure.
We do. Okay, now that we're all hungry for waffles, it is March 14, 3.14, and that means Pie Day. So we decided to take a little trip back in time when Danica and I competed in the annual Pie Day eating contest.
Oh, boy.
My stomach hurts just watching this.
Yep.
So we've got some new competitors facing off this year, giving Danica and I a break.
Thank goodness.
Next up, we're headed to Hubbard Avenue Diner for our annual tradition.
There are 4 school districts on delay already this morning. The Pecatonica has a couple roads closed throughout the area. Fog is an issue west of Dane County in particular. Again, don't blame the messenger. Hattie's Alert Day forecast is coming up on News 3 Now this morning.
Good morning from the patio this morning, which is feeling much larger today. We had a lot of snow melt yesterday, and the rest of it is likely going to melt today across southern Wisconsin. Take a look at high temperatures yesterday. We continued to climb all day right up until midnight. In fact, our high officially in Madison was, I think, 51 degrees just before midnight last night. Now, we are still quite mild. Temperatures held nearly steady in the upper 40s to around 50 all night. So melting continues. Snow depth across the area, again, diminishing almost before our eyes. This map even looking quite a bit different than it did yesterday at this time. We're not looking at those extreme snow depths of a foot or more across Minnesota or northern Wisconsin. Those snow depths are coming down as well. With the continued melting taking place and some rain in the forecast, an alert day has been added to the forecast for today. It's not necessarily for the additional rain that we're expecting today. That'll be less than 1/4 of an inch. But again, all that snow melting across the area will cause river and stream levels to continue to rise. We're already seeing issues in Darlington with the Pecatonica River, the Baraboo, Fox, and Sugar Rivers also impacted by these rising water levels today. Flood watches continue for the entire area, all of Wisconsin, much of Minnesota, and northern Iowa under that flood watch that goes through tomorrow morning. We've also added some wind advisories into the mix as this strong storm system moves into the area. Wind gusts will start to increase, especially south and east of Madison. Now, looking at the radar map, it actually looks pretty quiet right now across southern Wisconsin. No umbrella needed at this hour, but keep in mind that a few showers or isolated thunderstorms will be possible as we head into the afternoon and evening time frame. Again, additional rain is going to be pretty light for the area, but the snow will continue to melt. A live look from the Queen Bee Radio Skycam in Platteville, showing you not a huge issue with fog there this morning, but just to the east of Platteville, fog is pretty thick. Visibility has been at 0 in Mineral Point for the last couple of hours. It's at ½ a mile in Monroe. So dense fog advisories in effect for those areas this morning. Our temperatures are right around 50 degrees. In fact, even some spots above 50 this morning. It's 55 right now in Janesville. Winds are pretty strong from the southeast, but they will increase through the day. Here's a look at your future track wind speeds. This afternoon, we're looking at wind speeds anywhere from 15 to 25 miles an hour, with some of those wind gusts up to around 40 miles an hour south and east of Madison. So it is going to be quite windy. If you're driving a high-profile vehicle, be aware of those winds from the southeast and south today. Our future track forecast model shows you just some light showers on and off, maybe a few isolated rumbles of thunder in the southeastern corner of the state this afternoon. Rain chances will continue through the evening hours, but then diminish overnight into early tomorrow. Your extended forecast then has us a little closer to normal. After topping near 60 today, we're back 20 degrees colder tomorrow to a high of 39. Pretty quiet though for the upcoming weekend, with sunshine and highs right around 40 degrees. Now let's get a look at your first alert traffic maps this morning. Josh Tim has all the details. Good morning, Josh.
Good morning. Well, we're starting off with all lanes of Highway 78 near Mount Horeb closed between Highway A and Lee Valley Road because of water over the roadway. Just make sure you plan ahead and definitely take a different route this morning. Dealing with wet roads and fog here in the Madison area. So far, though, the Beltline is moving well along in both directions. Checking out other roads here in Dane County. Definitely keep an eye out for extra water on the roads today. And the usual brake lights on Verona Road approaching the Beltline ramps. Now, the main routes are moving at the usual speeds right now heading into Madison with no major crashes or delays. Your first alert traffic, I'm Josh Tim.
Thank you, Josh. Thank you, Hattie. So it is March 14th, better known by math nerds and pie lovers as Pie Day.
So we already got our delivery from Hubbard Avenue Diner, and we get to eat those treats at a leisurely pace. That is not the case for our Pie Day contestants. Christina Laurie is live in Middleton with this year's competitors and their 3-pound pie taco menace. Good morning, Christina.
We're missing you both out here, but for the 7th year in a row, Joey Chestnut declined our offer to participate in this contest, but that's okay because we have a fantastic crop of candidates here. Let's quickly introduce you to them. First up, we have Chris Bubba Hawbaker. You've probably seen his work on the morning show. He does some musical segments. So, Bubba, I wanted to ask you, what song is pumping through your head this morning, getting you revved up for this contest?
Oh, gosh. Can't Stop the Feeling. My daughter Ruby loves to sing that. And just, yeah, I'm pumped. I'm just pumped to go and eat some pie.
Wow, we have a pie-eating troll here. Ready. All right, next up, the longest competitor. You've seen him on the morning show as well. We have film critic Will Loper. In the past, you've said you are channeling your inner Leo DiCaprio and The Revenant. Who are you channeling this year?
I'm definitely going with Bruce Bogtrotter from Matilda. I know it was a cake in that movie, but we'll make pie work for this.
Okay, fabulous answer. I think that wins so far. Next up, we have producer extraordinaire Stephanie Olson. You've seen her work if you've watched the Noon, the 5, 6. You've probably done every show here. So you're responsible as a producer for writing different headlines. What do you hope the headline will be after you win this contest?
Oh, Stephanie does not lose pie eating contest.
Great.
I think that's what I'd go with.
That's solid. Award-winning headline. Finally, you know this guy. He emceed the contest last year. I know I don't hold a candle to his skills, but meteorologist Dave Caulfield here. So, I have to ask you something about the weather.
Okay.
What weather phenomenon are you channeling as you tackle this pie?
Well, I think the bomb cyclone that we've all been talking about. Hopefully I don't kind of produce a bomb today, but I'm trying to gain some strength from that system, and hopefully it will help me out here today.
Solid. All right. I think it's time to get the contest started. We're going back to Jason the Pie Guy. He's going to count us down. We do a quick countdown. They have 1 minute to eat as much of these 3-pound tacos as they possibly can. Ready, Jason?
Yep. Are we ready? All right. Ready, set, go. Oh, my.
All right. This is a lot to take in. Looks like people have different eating strategies here. Some are eating it like... Dave, I don't know what Dave is doing. Dave is going off of the top of the taco. Seems like a majority of people are going from either right to left, left to right. I think the strategy could be attack that cream first. That seems a little less dense. These are French silk pie tacos. So this can be pretty filling. All right, how much time do we have?
27 seconds.
All right.
Oh, my gosh.
I don't know. Who do you think is taking the early lead here?
Stephanie, Will, I think they're kind of doing neck and neck right now.
All right, the two in the middle really going at it. There's a lot of remnants at the bottom of Will. All right, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Put your pie tacos down. All right, let's go around and see. Jason is the judge here. He made these tacos. He's going to tell us who he thinks ate the most. This is very scientific. We don't using our eyes. Who do you think?
Got it.
All right, and the winner is.
I think he's come back. Will.
Wow, this is really a full circle story here. Will won the inaugural contest back in 2013. Will, how does it feel?
My nostrils are completely clogged, so it's a little difficult to think or talk, but it feels amazing. This has all been worth it. I've just training for 7 years, finally.
Wow. Well, you heard it here, folks. Will has been training for 7 years for this. He came back around. Now he wins free pie for a year. Danica, Leah, we missed you out here. I'm sure you would have come close. I don't know if you could have taken on Will. He really made a dent in that pie taco. But I'm going to send it back to you.
Holy smokes. Look at them. They're bowing to him. They're still partaking in the pie taco at this point. Oh, my goodness.
He's still eating.
I don't know. Thank you guys for coming in so early and just absolutely destroy. Look, Bubba's just enjoying it.
That is tough to watch. I'm not going to lie.
Oh, my goodness. Oh, we appreciate our contestants and, of course, Christina.
A thing of beauty there. A thing of beauty. All right. Thank you, Christina.
Okay. So after our stomachs hurt just watching that, using Pie Day for its true math and science purpose instead of the overabundance of French silk, a nonprofit's inviting your kids to try coding and robotics today. We'll have the details when News 3 Now This Morning continues.
Good morning from the News 3 Now First Alert Weather Center. Our forecast this morning does call for some more rain across the area. Right now, relatively dry. That is a relative term because the snow has been melting all night with mild temperatures, so everything's wet outside, but no rain falling. A few showers or even some isolated rumbles of thunder will be possible today, especially heading into the afternoon. We have been dealing with some fog as well. A dense fog advisory is in effect for those counties shaded in gray until 10 o'clock this morning. Visibility in Mineral Point and Monroe have been problematic this morning, less than a mile. Look for some patchy areas of fog as the snow continues to melt. These are our current temperatures: 49 here in Madison, 55 in Janesville, 47 in the Dells. Chances for precipitation increase a little bit as we head towards the afternoon and then again this evening. So here's a look at that bus stop weather forecast. I think that by the end of today, most of the snow will be gone across southern Wisconsin as high temperatures flirt with 60 degrees this afternoon.
All right, thank you, Hattie. So as those temperatures increase, parks in our areas could be closing in the coming weeks. It doesn't seem right, but the Dane County Parks Department is monitoring conditions as warmer weather brings out ground frost and, of course, melts the snow. Both could lead to damage at park lands if people are using it during that time. Now, officials ask anyone visiting parks to use paved pathways and roads instead of walking on the grass if you can. The ground should firm up after the first few rounds of spring rain and drying winds.
There is a great opportunity today to get your kids interested in math and science with the help of some robots. Badger Bots is hosting an open house today as part of their Pi Day celebration. From 6 until 9 tonight, you and the kids can try hands-on robot demos, coding activities, and 3D printing at their Robotics Education Center on Discovery Drive over in Middleton. The nonprofit provides thousands of hours of STEM education programs every year, including some specifically designed to get younger girls interested in science, technology, engineering, and math.
5:20 or 6:26 almost your time this morning. The snow melt will be a big issue when it comes to any flooding today. Some school districts are on delay for the high water, others for fog. Hattie will have the very latest look at the radar after the break.
And there are some legal concerns over what's being taught at a Fort Atkinson staff training aimed at supporting wellness. The day's top stories are next on News 3 Now this morning.
As lawmakers on Capitol Hill vote on a measure to block the president's border wall funding, the state's top law enforcement official joins a lawsuit against Mr. Trump.
And your student might be walking out of the classroom tomorrow to demand lawmakers make environmentally friendly changes.
From the Channel3000.com Alert Center, this is News 3 Now this morning.
Good morning and welcome to the final half hour of News 3 Now this morning on this Thursday, March 14th. And boy, the road closures just keep coming in this morning due to that rising water in the area.
That's right. We have Highway 69 just south of Verona. This is heading toward Paola. Now a stretch of that road is covered in water. Let's turn it over to Hattie now to see just how wet the patio is this morning. How you doing wading out there, Hads?
Still wearing the rain boots this morning. There is standing water on the patio and in many spots across southern Wisconsin. Temperatures are close to 50 degrees right now, so the snow continued to melt even after the sunset yesterday. An alert day is in effect, not necessarily for the additional rain that we'll get today, but for the continued melting of the snow. We're likely going to see most, if not all, of the snowpack disappear today across southern Wisconsin. Additional rain is going to add up to less than 1/4 of an inch for the area, but again, it's that melting snow that will cause the river levels to rise. And those rivers on the map that are most impacted: Baraboo, Fox, Sugar, and Pecatonica. We're already seeing issues in Darlington with the high river level on the Pecatonica River this morning. Now, as far as rain is concerned, it's been pretty quiet so far this morning. A few light showers trying to work their way into southwestern Wisconsin once again, and that'll be the case through the day. A few showers, maybe even an isolated rumble of thunder, especially in the southeast this afternoon, but overall, just a very mild and damp day. Dense fog advisory has been issued until 10 o'clock for areas west of Dane County this morning, where visibility is less than a mile. It's been pretty consistent at 0 in Mineral Point, just half-mile visibility right now in Monroe. Let's check those temperatures, though. Again, I mentioned we're near 50 this morning, so it's a much milder start to the day. We're going to flirt with 60 degrees. If you are wondering, our last 60-degree day here in Madison, October 22nd, many months ago. Our first alert traffic map this morning is just really covered with road closures, and more continue to be added to this map every minute, it seems. I can't even display them all on the map, but all those road closure signs that you see are most likely due to water over the road. So be careful this morning. Never drive on a flooded road. You don't know what the condition of the road is underneath that water. Here in Madison, we're not seeing any major delays. All the roads are wet, but no accidents to report in and around the city at this time. And that's your first alert traffic.
Yep, we're following some road closures popping up in Sauk County as well. A couple of school districts on delay because of that water. We have a list of all of those road closures up on Channel3000.com. Thank you, Hattie.
You're welcome.
Topping the news this half hour, Wisconsin has officially joined a multi-state lawsuit challenging President Trump's national emergency declaration to build a border wall without Congress's approval. Governor Tony Evers authorized Attorney General Josh Kaul to join that case yesterday. It now includes 20 attorneys general who argue the president's actions exceed the powers of the executive office and violate the U.S. Constitution. That suit also argues the order unconstitutionally diverts federal funds that Congress planned to use for other purposes.
The president is tweeting this morning that he will issue a veto if the Senate passes a resolution to end his national emergency declaration today. At least 5 Republicans are expected to support that resolution. GOP senators have been working to convince the Trump administration to find different ways to fund the border wall, but none have yet won the president's approval.
Into the Channel 3000 Alert Center this morning, Janesville police are looking for 2 men who allegedly robbed a gas station near the Rock County Fairgrounds last night. Police say surveillance video shows those 2 men entering the Shore Enterprises convenience store just before 11 p.m. One of them showed a handgun and both got away with cash. Anyone with information is asked to call the Janesville Police Department.
After community feedback and recommendations from a consultant, Madison's police department is looking at tweaking some of its use of force policies. Those changes don't affect when that force is authorized, but the department's looking at slight revisions to some of its language. The ad hoc committee in charge of overseeing police procedures will take a look at those changes today. The last officer-involved shooting in Madison was back in September on the east side when a 16-year veteran of the force shot a man who allegedly threatened her with a knife. It had been almost 2 years before that since the department had been involved in a fatal shooting.
Republicans on a Senate committee at the state capitol are divided on whether to advance the nomination of the governor's pick to run the Department of Safety and Professional Services. Those lawmakers asked Dawn Krim about her qualifications yesterday. They also asked her about a felony child abuse accusation from 2005 when she allegedly jabbed her then 5-year-old son in the hand with a pen. That charge was later dropped. She says she has been open and honest about the situation.
The case has been dismissed. It was 14 years ago. My son is 19 years old. I have been open and honest about what has happened then, and I'm open and honest now.
That Senate Committee Chair Chris Kapenga says he will not immediately schedule a vote. He wants to review information about Krim he received yesterday from the governor before moving forward.
The option for some area teachers to take a biblical training session during an upcoming professional development day is raising legal concerns for the Fort Atkinson School District. Superintendent Dr. Lynn Brown says the theme for next Friday's staff day is Wise and Well, a staff wellness experience. Teachers will be able to attend breakout sessions voluntarily, including one called Happiness Is, a biblical perspective on true joy. It's presented by the elementary school principal there. A member of the Wisconsin Education Association Council says he heard about that planned session last week and advised district officials to consult legal counsel. Now, an attorney with the Freedom from Religion Foundation says even though the course is optional and doesn't involve students, it still violates the Constitution by endorsing religion. In a statement, the district superintendent says they, quote, encourage staff to consider the 8 areas of wellness for themselves so they can help students as part of the district's focus on social emotional development. One of those areas of wellness is spirituality. Several parents from the district say they are not concerned about that training option. Now, this comes after FFR filed a complaint in 2017 against the same principal who's giving this session for having students over to his house for religious instruction.
Tens of thousands of students around the world are preparing to cut class tomorrow morning, demanding elected officials take action on climate change. Madison area students participating in that march say this issue is very personal. Every year of their lives have been one of the worst for warm weather recorded. Now, extreme weather events, including record flooding, heat waves, and extreme cold are now becoming more of a norm. They believe that if nothing's done to stop global warming, their generation will be left to deal with catastrophic consequences.
One thing we are supporting, there's another group in Madison that is working on bringing the Green New Deal to Madison. And on March 19th, they're presenting the resolution in front of the City Council. So we ask people to support that, go to the meeting. And if we can get that passed, we're going to go to the city level.
So students plan to meet at East High School at 11:15 tomorrow morning. They will start their march to the state capitol right around 11:45. Christina Laurie will have more on the reasons students in our area are marching tomorrow on News 3 Now this morning.
6:37 your time now. Plans to get rid of a grocery store on Madison's south side could create a food desert there. That story's ahead in the morning sprint.
And we're previewing a story about a Richland Center woman's Facebook page that's making a big impact on her neighbors. More local news is coming up right here on News 3 Now this morning.
Welcome back. So you've probably heard of people using GoFundMe accounts or Facebook groups to raise support for good deeds. Well, a woman in Richland Center is going above and beyond to help her neighbors when they need it most. Jennifer Johnson moved to Richland Center 3 years ago. As a way to branch out, she started a Facebook group called Giving Back. That group grew to more than 1,000 people in just 1 month. She now uses it to help victims of fires, give maternity clothes to mothers in need, and much, much more. She says spreading kindness is something she's always done to set a good example for her kids.
This is something that we've done for years, and I really wanted to implement that into my children, knowing that it's not just about, you know, myself and my family, it's about giving to others.
Now, it's not just items in need that Jennifer is sharing through her Facebook group. She's also growing hope for people who otherwise might not have any. Tonight on News 3 Now at 10, Jamie Perez is going to share one of the most powerful stories Jennifer has of how her habit of giving is bringing life back to a family in an unforgettable way.
Yeah, definitely looking forward to that one.
Yeah.
6:42 right now, and finally, the temperature is not the issue weather-wise. We are topping out at almost 60 today. It's the first time since the end of October, folks.
What?
But you may want to hold off on any outdoor plans. We have rain and thunderstorms in the forecast throughout the day. It could change over to snow by tomorrow morning. Hattie will have all the details in her first alert forecast.
But first, it's March 14th, and we want to say happy birthday to Gabriel, Max, Lennon, and all the kids turning 3 today. Thanks so much for celebrating with us right here on News 3 Now this morning.
Good morning from the News 3 Now First Alert Weather Center. It is an alert day today, not necessarily for the amount of rain that we'll get. You see additional rain, less than 1/4 of an inch across southern Wisconsin, but temperatures will be in the 50s all day, so that will cause additional snow to melt. We'll likely lose most of the snowpack. River basins most impacted would be the Baraboo, Fox, Sugar, and Pecatonica. Of course, we're already seeing impacts due to the rising water levels on the Pecatonica River in Darlington this morning. So be aware that those river levels will continue to rise today. The National Weather Service left that flood watch intact for all of southern Wisconsin. It goes until 7 o'clock tomorrow morning for the entire area. Here's a look at Doppler track this morning. Pretty quiet in Madison, but some light showers right around Prairie du Chien into Platteville this morning. Scattered light showers, even a few isolated rumbles of thunder, mainly south and east of Madison, are possible this afternoon right into this evening. Here's a wider view of this entire storm system, and on the backside, it definitely looks and feels more like winter with some snow falling and very strong winds. This storm system intensified rapidly, dropping 24 millibars in 24 hours. That classifies it as a bomb cyclone. This storm will continue to track to the north and east right across the Badger State. Windy conditions on either side. This is such a low area, extremely low area of low pressure that was generating very strong winds to the east as well as to the west. Those northwesterly winds causing blizzard conditions across the plains. Chances for rain really start to diminish as that storm system pulls into southern parts of Canada later in the day on Friday. Here's a look at the forecast then. The current advisories that are in effect with this system. Blizzard warning for much of the plains, again, not due to falling snow, but blowing snow, creating visibilities near zero. Also very strong winds. Some of those current wind gusts in the plains right around 60 miles an hour. That's pretty dangerous. Wind gusts as well starting to increase on the east side of this system, gusting now in the 35-mile-an-hour range across much of Illinois. Wind advisories are in effect for areas south and east of Madison later on today. Here's a live look from the WISC-TV Skycam. Looking a little foggy here on the west side of town. Dense fog advisory is in effect for areas west of Dane County until 10 o'clock this morning. Visibility improving just a little bit in Mineral Point as well as Monroe, but still mile or less. Temperatures are right around 50 degrees this morning, and we're going up from there. Watch those temperatures warm as we put this map into motion. By lunchtime, already closing in on the upper 50s, right around 60 degrees. Scattered showers and isolated thunderstorms continue on and off today, right into the evening hours. That moisture level starts to diminish overnight tonight. Any snowflakes that we see are not going to accumulate on the ground. It is going to be much colder though tomorrow, 20 degrees colder with a high of 39. For the weekend though, some sunshine back in the area with pretty quiet conditions, even continuing right into next week. Take a look at this pet picture. Brona in Madison. Super excited about something.
Honey.
I don't know if it's the mud.
Not gonna need that hat today though.
Yeah, that's, I think the excitement is this will finally be off my ears.
It's true, maybe. But it's so cute.
Very cute.
Trade it out for the rain boots, buddy. All right, thank you, Addie.
You're welcome.
Makes you smile. Morning Sprint's coming up next right here on News 3 Now this morning. It's 6:52, time for the morning sprint. We are talking about fog and rain today and the potential for flooding. And wind as well could be an issue today.
Yeah, that alert day forecast is already causing issues over in Darlington. The school district there is on a 2-hour delay as that city shuts down its Main Street Bridge for high waters on the Pecatonica River. You can stay up to date on other closures around our area via Nixle alerts. Sign up by texting your zip code to 888777. We also have a list of highway closures due to those flooding waters up on channel3000.com.
In Columbia County, officials expect the Wisconsin River to reach a flood stage of 17.5 feet by Monday. That is half a foot below last year's highest crest. The Baraboo River is expected to reach moderate flood stage levels as well. Now, Sauk County officials aren't expecting major damage, but they are monitoring water levels there. Both counties have sandbags available to anyone who might need them.
And we do have some rain in the forecast today. Most likely light showers on and off through southern Wisconsin. Pretty quiet right now. There is an isolated threat for a thunderstorm as well. Fog has been an issue this morning. We're looking at visibility just a 1/4 mile in Mineral Point, about a mile in Monroe. So watch out for that patchy fog as well as some pretty wet roads. Those chances for rain continue right into the evening. Very mild though today. High temperatures near 60 degrees this afternoon.
Thank you, Hattie. If you have an upcoming flight out of Milwaukee, you might want to check the status as the president has now grounded all Boeing 737 MAX 8 and 9 planes here in the U.S. President Trump made that announcement yesterday, joining more than 40 other countries that have made similar calls. American, Southwest, and United all use those jets. The move reverses an earlier FAA decision to keep the jets in operation after Sunday's deadly crash in Ethiopia.
The president's tweeting this morning about a Senate vote on his border wall, saying he's ready to veto any measure that blocks funding for that wall. House Democrats have passed a measure to do just that. At least 5 Republicans are expected to support that bill, which ends President Trump's national emergency declaration. Now, GOP senators have been working to convince the Trump administration to find different ways to fund a border wall, but the president has not approved any of those proposals.
Former Texas Congressman Beto O'Rourke is officially announcing his candidacy for president this morning. The 46-year-old is coming off a close race against Texas Senator Ted Cruz, which Cruz won by 2.5 points. O'Rourke visited the campus of UW-Madison last month as part of his tour of Midwestern states. He joins more than a dozen other candidates vying for the Democratic nomination in 2020.
This is the school district presenting to their teachers a specifically Christian message about happiness and joy.
That staff training session for teachers in Fort Atkinson School District is raising some legal concerns. The superintendent says an optional session during next week's Professional Development Day called A Biblical Perspective on True Joy addresses staff wellness. However, an attorney with the Freedom from Religion Foundation says even though the course is voluntary and it doesn't involve students, it still violates the Constitution by endorsing religion.
The FBI is now assisting Milwaukee police in the search for a missing 2-year-old. Nolani Robinson was believed to be with her father, Darius Higgins, but Higgins was taken into custody yesterday in Milwaukee, and there's still no sign of Nolani. Police believe Higgins shot and killed Nolani's mother on Monday. They're currently looking into a tip that Nolani may be in St. Cloud, Minnesota, or Ann Arbor, Michigan.
A neighborhood on Madison's south side is at risk of becoming a food desert if plans to demolish the area's only full-service grocery store go through. SSM Health plans to demolish the South Park Street Pick and Save to build a clinic there. Back in 2017, the city of Madison submitted a request for a grocery store to be built on city-owned property just south of the Pick and Save, but there are disagreements over just how much the city should contribute that have slowed down the process on that new grocery store.
Especially that she's not black or that she doesn't have black hair. Just having that, knowing that there's another person out there advocating for us, it's amazing.
You just heard from an 8th grader at O'Keefe Middle School who's pretty excited her teacher is going above and beyond to raise her confidence. Priscilla Ortiz is a special education teacher who realized students of color at O'Keefe were more reserved when they had a bad hair day. So, Miss Ortiz started a GoFundMe to buy hair products for those students who may not be able to, because the way she sees it, hair is part of someone's identity.
All right, it's almost 6:57. Let's turn it over to Josh Tim with a check on the roads. Hey, Josh.
Yeah, flooding on the roadways causing some issues already this morning. All lanes of Highway 78 near Mount Horeb closed between Highway A and Lee Valley Road. Highway 69 near Verona having some troubles with all lanes closed between Highway PB and 151, and also between Sunset Lane and Schaller Road. Make sure you plan ahead on your route this morning. Westbound side of the Beltline, though, picking up between Stoughton Road and Monona Drive. It's going to add a couple minutes to your drive time there. And so far, the interstate and other main highways are moving at the usual speeds with no crashes or delays. Your First Alert Traffic, I'm Josh Tim.
Thank you, Josh.
And here's the view from the Edgewater Sky Cam. Not as much fog here in Madison, but we do have some issues with fog elsewhere across southern Wisconsin. Wind advisories will start at 10 a.m. for the southeastern corner of the state. We're looking at wind gusts in the 40 to 45 mile-an-hour range there. Those winds will be from the south. Very mild, though. We're going to be flirting with 60 later today.
All right, try and stay dry today, folks, and have a good one.